Okay, so I'm live now. I just want to show y'all the rain right quick before I set up my tripod. Don't know if y'all can see that good. I feel like you can't see the rain through live, but y'all can definitely hear it. Ooh, it's time to get started on the topic of the day. And I'm gonna start it off just like this because this came to me the other day, and I was waiting for the right day. I wasn't waiting for nothing, but I didn't say it yet. And then it turns out that it's completely relevant to the Aquarius full moon, which is at its peak tonight. So the message is like, do you have people who uplift you, who tell you that you are amazing, who tell you that you are one of a kind, that you are a magical being, that you are just, as far as, not as far as your appearance, but just as far as the work that you do and what you're trying to do? Do you have people that uplift you? Do you have people who are truly supportive and caring of you and what you have going on? Because a lot of times I think we take that love for granted. I feel like a lot of us do search for approval, whether it's approval on social media, approval from our parents, our friends, our sisters. A lot of people do search for approval. But are you allowing that into your life? Do you have positive friends? This Aquarius full moon is all about progression, and basically reading was not helping you move forward and move up in life. And a lot of times our attachments are holding us down. So I want to know, like, really, do you have people in your life who uplift you, who tell you that you are amazing, that you are one of a kind, that they see you working really hard? You know what I'm saying? Do you have people who acknowledge the things that you do? Are you always the acknowledger, and never really receiving that back? Do you have friendships where we all know where you say good news and the vibe kind of mellows out because they're not really excited about your good news because it's not their good news, it's not their game? Like, the connections and the attachments that we make are so important. And though you like what you do, you can still move forward without connections to people. But for a lot of us, having genuine connections are important, and having toxic connections can hold us back. And literally, the Aquarius full moon being about progression, kind of stopping and thinking and analyzing your relationships with people, those friends that are still on old shit that you not on no more, or those friends that are constantly bringing you drama. Or are you that friend that is constantly bringing the drama? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about analysis, because you have to realize, like, for me, I was always one of those friends who was fighting for my friends. I never really had a lot of beef. I never really had a lot going on. But I had a lot of friends who had a lot going on. So I was always tangled up in some shit anyway. You feel me? And if you are that friend who is bringing that drama, or who is, you know, find yourself feeling some type of way when your friend has good news, then the first step is acknowledging it. I'm not going to say accepting, but I'm going to say acknowledging it. And this next step is to work towards it. Like, I remember being in a dark place in life, and I'd be like, why is this always happening to me? How come her life seems so easy? You know what I'm saying? Like, and just, well, constant comparison is a killer. That's for one thing. But you have to realize, you have to take the toxic people out of your life, and you have to take the toxic out of you too, because some of that toxicity has been instilled in us by not only ourselves, by not only our friends, by our mothers, by our grandparents, you feel me, that didn't know any better. So, like, I mean, if you don't have that friend, I'm definitely that person who's gonna be like, ooh, I see what you're doing, or oh, I can't wait till you do this. I tell everybody after they get a reading with me, because usually my readings get very deep and they get very personal. And by the end of my reading, I pretty much know what you're working on and what you're trying to do. And I tell them, like, I'm rooting for you. And also, I'm watching you. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting to see that growth. I'm waiting to see you drop that project that you've been working on. You feel me? Like, somebody who is just, sometimes we just need people who's rooting for us. That's why the fucking athletes have cheerleaders. So some people, those cheerleaders might do it for them, like screaming their name, or the people in the crowd. Like, for some people, that just might do it for you. And then we have to not only acknowledge the positive, but also acknowledge the, I want to say negative, but I can't think of the word, but you have to acknowledge the good and the bad. Like, if you get a review on your store, you can't just, ooh, I love it, good review, good review, good review, great, 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 you feeling happy, those reviews boosted your head up, you feel good. But then when you get a review about, your product needs more work or something like that, you can't then want to shove that bad review out, or that, review that shows that you have some work to do, and just be like, ugh, shutting out all the negative, fuck them, they lying. Like, you can't do that. You really gotta be, you have to accept both sides if you're gonna be one of those, people who look towards, like, confirmation, and not confirmation, but just, I'm losing my words. But y'all get the drift. But I can't express how important it is to have positive people around you, positive people who are rooting for you, positive people who just reassure you, because sometimes it feels good for somebody to let you know, like, I've been watching what you've been doing. You've been doing amazing recently. Go back in the house. Go back in the house. Go. Yes, go. I shouldn't have to tell you this many times to go back in the house, Cedric. No, close the door. You let him mugs in. But yes, like, you have to bring that back in the house. Those need to be, never mind, just go. I'll take it in the house. But you really have to be accepting of both. It is very important. I love, like, even though I already be knowing that I work hard and that I do what I need to do, I love when somebody be like, oh, I seen you doing this, you doing that. Like, it's cool, it's great, I love it. You feel me? And I feel like there are a lot of people who is lacking that. I have friends for years who I loved dearly, you feel me? But it was toxic. They were never proud. Well, some of them were never proud of me. They always felt like, it's just some people in the world who constantly feel like they're in competition with you, so they can't acknowledge you're good, because then they get to thinking like, well, what's good for me? You feel me? and it's selfish. And we probably have all had a stage in life where we've thought like, oh my God, like, this great stuff keeps happening, but my life is not. Or, it's levels to it though. Acknowledgement is definitely the first cause. And let me tell y'all that energy vampires, they come in more than just one simple form. Like, there are so many people who you surround yourself with that could be energy vampires. Like, our own parents could be energy vampires, because we on some new wave shit. And they generation, some of them is not even gonna get to this level mentally that a lot of us are on. So it's a whole thing. But uplifting and encouragement, and I mean genuine uplifting and encouragement of character, because somebody can tell you you're beautiful all day long. It's gonna make you feel cool and great, but I mean, it's like, okay, this is just my physical body, and like, although I'm beautiful, thanks, great. Sometimes you want other upliftment, other like, compliments, aside from just the physical. And I know the physical is a lot to a lot of people nowadays. But really though, all I do is say all day. But that's my task. This is my task for you all, to contemplate your relationships. I don't care if that been your friend for 10 years. Contemplate your relationship. And 9 times out of 10, it ain't really nothing that you need to contemplate. Because if it's toxic, you know it's toxic because you feel it. Even if you know, don't acknowledge it all the time, you feel it. I felt it. You know what I'm saying? And when you have those relationships, it puts you in that mindset too. Like, I was never really oh, I'm jealous of you. You know what I'm saying? Because you got something going on and I don't. But when I used to talk to my friend and I tell her something good about me, and then she would have that energy, I would then reciprocate that energy. So when she told me something good about her, it's like, okay, cool, great. You know what I'm saying? And then now I'm being toxic because I am reciprocating your toxic behavior. So all in all, it's like you really got to acknowledge and pay attention to how you are treating people and the people that you are surrounding yourself with. Because I hate to say it, but a lot of us still have the toxic. Like, we still have the toxic. Like, it's a little thing. um, and a lot of us still have the toxic friends who we are not growing with. Like, period. You can sit here and try to play pretend and think that they not. Them connections will hold you back too. They really will. How come it never shows me how long I've been up here? That was the moral of the story, pretty much. Because this is the moon. It's about your progress, your progression. We're moving towards a new cycle of full moons. This is 11, Aquarius, 11th house, Pisces, 12th house. Then we're back at 1 again with the full moons. And for some people, you know, depending on what house it's in on your chart, you know, it might not be the exact complete cycle for you, but it's a complete cycle that the full moons went around the zodiac. So, I don't know. I just felt like sharing that because I have bad connections in my life and I feel like I didn't get nowhere till after they all dropped like flies. Also, listen to your kids. Anybody that, when I had my son, anybody that my son did not like when he was a baby, like, and it was just like people that he didn't want to be around, people who he would cry around, people who troubled his soul because babies are so innocent. Anybody who was like that when he was young is no longer in my life today. He's 5 now. And it's just like, trust them kids too, because they see what you can't. Like, you think you're an old soul. I bet you your kid got an older soul than you. Because that's just how it be. Generation X is something else. On that note, I'm going to end the live. And I'll come back tomorrow with some more.